So let's go on to our last presentation, and that is by Dr. Vivek Gupta. So Vivek is Associate Professor, Community Ophthalmology at RP Center at AIMS in New Delhi. So over to you, Vivek, again from your institution. So Vivek, one question, last question you must answer at the end of your presentation. Had you not been in your institute, would you have excelled similarly at any other place as a private practitioner?
I'll try my best to answer that question, sir. Let me start screen sharing, please. Okay. Let's just see. Is my presentation visible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So, sir, I think I would be one of the odd one outs in today's group because I actually come from a background of community medicine. I'm currently a faculty of community ophthalmology at RP Center, and this is the title of the poster which I had presented. So it was basically we used WhatsApp messaging and open source software to do GIS mapping in the National Blindness Survey. And so that's what the poster was about. It was not a research presentation. It was not a case presentation. It was not a case series. It was an idea that we had implemented in the national survey. So quickly over to my background. So I have had a checkered history. I've been a MD of community medicine. I have worked in the area of influenza research. I've worked in mental health. I've worked as a operational research fellow with the union. And throughout my life, I had always been interested in technology, sir. My father was one of the pioneers of banking automation in India with the NZ Friendliest Bank. I installed Linux on my personal computer way back in 1997, and I crashed my hard drive and it had to go back to the company. I mean, that time Linux, nobody had heard about it. I was the first to do a journal club presentation in my department at AIMS during my MD days. And as part of my MD curriculum, doing data analysis, statistics, technology. So kind of, it went with my passion. During this period, while I was doing my senior residency, I got interested in the domain of computerized HMIS and using handhelds for data collection. That time there were these iPacks which used to come, an HP iPack, and there was one more company. And those we had experimented with for data collection in the field. I worked for a brief period with the Health Information Systems program of the University of Oslo. And I was working with the National Rural Health Mission, which was just launched in 2007. And we were using databases, DHIS2 softwares for analyzing the national level data that was coming from all the districts, all the PHCs, CHCs, etc., to the center, to the National Health Systems Resource Center. Subsequently, I started working with the Centers for Disease Control research programs as a senior program officer with Incline Trust. And that was the first time when I actually started using GPS mapping. And that time we were having dedicated Garmin GPS devices with very poor battery, like, they would only last 3-4 hours. We also were doing laptop-based data collection, OCR-based data collection, and some of the work which I did then, there were publications with Lancet, Vaccine, Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health, and so on and so forth. And yes, I mean, I then worked as a faculty at NIMHANS, and so I was involved with technology throughout my career. Wherever I was, I always had a passion of leveraging technology-based solutions for public health. Finally, I joined as a faculty of community ophthalmology in 2015 at RP Center. And at that time, we were planning the National Blindness Survey using the RAP methodology, Rapid Assessment of Avoidable Blindness. It was to be a paper-based personal interview, house-to-house visits, and there was no GPS data being collected in the RAP survey. And an idea came to me that, why don't we enrich the data that is being collected? Because we know that blindness and visual impairment can be correlated with cluster level factors. Distance would be an important factor, and we had to also look at quality of sampling. Are our clusters completely distributed throughout the district where we are going for survey or not? and I wanted to simplify the collection of GPS data. The challenge which I set for myself was that we cannot purchase or send out GPS devices, and smartphones were there with every team member. So let's use which are the smartphones which are already there with the team. We could have used Open Data Kit software toolkit for collecting GPS data, but then that would have been an additional application, and there was a brainwave. WhatsApp was catching up, and there was the location sharing feature in WhatsApp. So why don't we try leveraging that and see if we can use that for GPS data collection? So that is what we did. And this is the poster that I had presented during the AIOC 2017. And so the team would use WhatsApp for sharing location data. Everyone in the team would have the location. It would enable the clinical team to reach the cluster site very easily on the next day. So that was a great advantage actually. Thereafter, our central team would extract all the coordinates by sending basically the conversation. And when you send a WhatsApp conversation, if you email it, you get the latitude, longitude coordinates as URL parameters in the mail. So we would copy paste them into a CSV file and import them into a Quantum GIS or QGIS, which is a free GIS mapping software. And we were able to do mapping. We could overlay district maps, look at distribution of clusters with regards to distance from district headquarters, and multiple things. So basically that was what I had presented. And subsequently, currently we are doing the national TT survey. So collection of GPS data, we have made it an integral part of the national TT survey. In the blindness survey, it was cluster level coordinates. Now we are collecting household level coordinates. I also used some of the techniques I had learned in the development of the online India Vision Atlas and the searchable database of ophthalmic infrastructure, the screenshots of which are visible over here. And we are still on to doing the GIS based analysis of the data that was captured. So basically for me, it was, I have always been passionate about technology. So I kept following my passion, and it was just an idea, spur of the moment thing. But, even that could win the ET SELVAM award. So, for me, that was a key takeaway, no idea is too small. And it is important to share experiences. I mean, evidence is one thing, but there is also, while a lot is to be said about evidence-based learning, there is a place for experiential learning as well. And so share your experiences, and you never know when you will bump into like-minded individuals. They do exist, and they may like your idea, and you may win an award. So that's the takeaway from me, sir.
Fantastic journey you have had, Vivek, and it's really one of the very wonderful presentations. And this is exactly what we need to take home, and I'm sure our viewers are also taking home these points that you have said. So over to Harbalshal sir, and sir, with your huge experience of teaching, mentoring, you're going to tell us about what you think about Vivek and his ideas.
I think if you see all the presenters, what is basic comes out is the complete dedication to the job. I mean, I'll say from my own experience, I'm not a very hardworking person. I'm a very laid back, easygoing in my life. But whenever I need something and I want to do something, then I get totally obsessed and focused. So that time, I was not interested in settling in Delhi. I was allowed practice in 65. I never practiced. So when 94 Fago machine came, I realized that once your time has come. If you can take a lead over others for 6 months, you will be wherever you want. So I made sure that at that time, wherever I am, day, night, whether I'm taking bath, only thing which was evolving in my mind was how to do a better practice. That's it. So I made sure I was the first to do the chopping, I was the first to do the top cut, I was the first to write the book. So I got totally focused. So the same is true for all of them. So some of them may have a consistent energy and backed by the institutions where they really are always into the lookout for something new. And some of them, those who are in a practice, may not have a consistent energy, But even if they want to do something and if they are focused of achieving something, I'm sure in 2-3 years time, their mind will start working in that direction. So first you have got to decide. I mean, there's nothing like if you are in a small place or in a bigger place or in a big institution or a small institution. Most important is what you want to achieve. So first you have got to decide, yes, I want to be recognized, I want to be respected, I want to be valued, I want to be honored. Once that starts coming into mind, that I need my respect, I need my honor, I want to feel proud of myself, my family, my friends should feel proud of me. So once you get that thought into your mind, then probably everything will start falling into place. So first and foremost is you should feel that I want to achieve this and I want to be respected, honored, loved, cared, and my kids, my family, my friends should feel proud of me. So if you feel, keep a pride, keep a value on yourself, I'm sure everything else will fall into place. So that is the message from all of them. In fact, if you see all the presenters really work very, very hard and have been thinking about it. So that is what is my carry home message to all the people who are watching this program, are going to watch in the coming days, that they should think if they can achieve. Only then you can achieve.
A word from Feroz.
Yes, excellent poster, Dr. Vivek, and congratulations on the award. So one thing that I have noticed, I tried reading geocoding, Dr. Gupta, and I have not understood much about it. So I have to go back and read it again. So I'm not going into the subject at all. So what I really understood from all the presenters, including you, is that passion that they had. You know, you had this passion about technology. Someone had passion about that particular subject. And, you know, that is what actually made you present and put in the best in you, right? And I am sure all of you who are present here in this platform would have made your poster thinking that I should win the CS Rashmi Award. It is right. Yeah. So that's when you really put in your best. And, you know, this is what I want to achieve. Of course, sometimes they might be a plus or minus, but still, that is the amount of, you know, work and passion that you put in. And the other thing that I noticed, even in Dr. Gupta's poster, it was so beautifully laid out. The pictorial representation, there was not too many, you know, wordings. There was not too many sentences or paragraphs, which is like, you know, crowding the poster. Where he had put, like, you know, in sections and boxes and a big arrow. So it was so very precise for any youngster who is looking forward to make a poster. It has to be clean, it has to be precise, and well, you know, box and pictorial representation really adds much, because when a judge comes in, they're not going to sit and read the whole paragraphs and sentence there, but you can express your datas and your message from these, you know, take home boxes and pictorial representation that really adds on to it. And that's exactly what I found in Dr. Gupta's poster, you know. So well, yeah, and this is what, in short, that I would also want to, you know, put a message across. And I'm sure even when Shifali was preparing the presentation, you know, we were like, you have to get the award. Every time we do this, like, you know, you're getting the award. Sometimes we get it, sometimes you don't get it. So, but it's okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we come to a conclusion, there are a few things that, you know, the submission for the abstracts is already on, and we are getting the submissions in. So as the submissions come in, you know, and most of you are evaluators of these submissions, so you would know that there are excellent abstracts, there are not so good abstracts, and there are abstracts that have been written in the last hour, last day, last minute, and just sent. So abstract writing is the most important thing, I feel. When you have already done a project, you have finalized it, you have done your statistical analysis, and everything is done, the project has been summed up, your conclusion is drawn, but writing an abstract is a very important, a methodical part, which has to be done well, because on that you are evaluated. And the evaluation, believe me, takes a huge amount of patience and time from the evaluators. Every section today at AIOS, 30 evaluators give their time for evaluating. nearly 150 abstracts, as you have seen in those categories, 200 abstracts. So what is going to make your abstract catch the mind and heart of the evaluator? The first thing is send in the abstracts fast. If it is sent in fast, you're among the top few, and your evaluator, I'm sure, is going to spend a little more time. And if it is interesting, he will possibly look up the literature also. Second thing is the title. The title is very important. We just say what's in a name, but yes, in a subject which is going to be evaluated, a huge amount of thing is in a name. What Dr. Subhadra Jalali just said, that the title should be attractive. The fourth thing is the statistical analysis. If it is relevant, it has to be neat and proper. As soon as an evaluator sees that it has been evaluated statistically and p-values are there, okay, fine. This job has been done well. So there is again a scoring. And of course, the research question has to be answered in your conclusion. So if these few things, and of course there are a lot more other things, if these few things are there, then an abstract is that A-class abstract, which is going to work and which is going to possibly find a place in wherever you have been trying to present. The next thing that we have all spoken about is the content and the layout of the poster, which is a very, very important thing. The science and the art, the artistry has to come in. And I remember still Dr. Basak telling me, you have made this poster, but you think anybody is going to see it. I don't think anybody is going to see it because it is not artistic. So that, keeps telling on to me that whenever a poster is done, it has to be a beautiful piece of art where science is there as the ingredient and as the content. So the poster is definitely important as a layout. I still remember a junior colleague of mine wanting to submit a poster, and he had made a very beautiful scientific layout, and his conclusion was the most important thing. And it was there after all the methodology and everything right at the end. And as you know, in our AIOS, we have these vertical layout posters where the eye is not going to hit the conclusion because it's all low down. So I told him that, why don't you do this? Put up the conclusion at the top, have it in a circular layout where it is all converging into one side onto your right, and the whole poster is aligned a little differently. Well, that didn't win the ET SELVAM definitely for him, but it won the section award. Because what is important is the highlight. You have to have the conclusion in place and it has to be highlighted. So these are things that are there. AIS also has this importance of the judging and the judges questioning, and they are very important people, in their own rights, and the questions being asked by the judges as for the evaluation is a very important thing. So there are certain times that the person is not present during the poster session and the judging session, and that's a loss of marks. So this and everything, and let's just hope that in the AIOS in Mumbai, we have a real poster presentation and a physical poster presentation, which we did not have this time. And I would request any of our chairpersons to give in your comments as parting comments and important takeaways.
I think Partha, excellent program. I think I hope that more people watch it and get inspired, and they do a good work. And not that they just send a poster because they are the PGs and some faculty has asked them to send a poster and maybe it gets accepted and it is in their biodata. So if they really put on sincere effort, and definitely, and this is a very good program from the scientific committee, that this type of a program will really inspire more people. And let's hope more people watch it in YouTube and other platforms, and really we have a far better poster presentation in the coming days, not one or two, but where the judges will have really tough time in judging which is the best. So that is what we want. And in that direction, I think it has been a good step. Thank you for bringing it out.
Thank you.
I think
have
what I would like to say is let there be a lot of submissions for the next conference in the poster category, because this particular webinar has highlighted the importance of a poster. So what the myth is there, the poster is always downlooked when it compares to the oral presentation. That myth has to be changed. And let's invite all the members to submit their submissions for the poster category and let them get selected by their merit and welcome them to the Hall of Fame, the poster frame. I think that will be a better way.
So can I have a comment here? One
Yes,
quick
sure,
comment
sure.
here. Yeah,
Go ahead.
like as Amit said, honestly, I don't think that poster is something less than a paper. So when you present an abstract, this is just a message to all the students over here. You need to actually know whether you want to present it for a poster or a paper. So there are certain situations which we in fact had among our scientific team where, you get a submission for a paper, and in fact, they sometimes reach also with 4 cases, like 3 or 4 cases, which may not win a prize in a paper, because you're competing in a section where people might come with a large retrospective series or a prospective series. Although your cases might be excellent, it might be a rare presentation, but if you would have presented in a poster where, this would have possibly won an award rather than winning in a paper section. So you have to make your mind whether this is suitable for a paper or this is suitable for a poster, and make the right decision and submit it. So all the very best for all the youngsters who are going to present. And one thing that I really want to tell here is what Shifali did an extra step here, which I didn't even tell her. So, although you have all the information there and it's a concise, she in fact carried, a write-up, extra points regarding that particular thing. So whenever a person came for discussion or even a judge came for discussion, she made an extra effort to distribute that write-up regarding that disease, which really impressed me. I never told her. She did it on herself, which was really, really, scoring a point from her for her. Yeah.
So I know the time is up, but I'm one thing which is a good take home for me is, and I'm glad that I was commenting on that presentation, that of Shefali, that of all the presentations which have been made today, Shefali's was the only one which is coming from a prior practitioner, which encourages me to tell all the practitioners within the country that all of you can do it. If Shefali can do it, others can do it. And I don't know this just in lighter way, and I'm saying that if somebody, one of you is a judge and a presentation is coming of one between an institute and one a practitioner, whom are you going to prefer? Just a question.
The best poster will win, sir. The best
Content.
The
It's the
best
content.
one, best
The
one,
one on
best
merit.
one.
No, I'm not answering. I'm not
Doesn't
saying
matter.
anything. I'm just.
The one on merit. Obviously, it has to be
Actually,
the merit.
Ajay, in DOS and in fact in iOS also, at that time we proposed there should be a marking objective system of granting for travel fellowship. In that, the practitioner will get more marks for the same thing as compared to the institution. So even in the DOS, and I think the another thing, Partha Farooz has very nicely highlighted certain points. The scientific committee should come out what you should send as a poster and what you should send as a free paper. So in the next mail, you just have a small write-up. Okay, this material is good for sending as a poster, and this material is good for sending as a the guideline, what you should do when you should send for the poster. I think that will probably, because most of the youngsters may not know, there are many first-time presenters who want, if they can present somewhere. So I think that will be a very good idea to come out with some salient points and mail it to all of them.
Quite true, sir. Quite
And
true.
we also know that Dr. Vivek is there, who can mentor us in a lot of all the gizmos and everything.
Ajay, you are presuming that, research is easy in an institute. Let me tell you that the performance is variable, and also that the people in the institute have their own set of barriers and their own set of headaches.
Yeah.
So I just want to highlight that it is the personal choice of a person, as I said in the beginning, to excel And that comes whether you're making a dal and you want to be Sanjeev Kapoor or you want to be like
Correct.
Subhadra, jisko abhi dal banani bhi nahi aati hai.
No.
No, so what I'm saying is that excellence is the attitude, and I think very important because many of us are teachers. We have to inculcate that excellence towards research attitude during the residency period. As you would have seen, most of the people who won these awards or who have performed very well, and otherwise also when we see the submissions at the AIOC for anything, whether it's poster, presenter, video clip and all, is because those people have been mentored by somebody during their residency, and that spark has ignited during their training period. It could even be in their school time. Some people have, if we see the Western people,
I have to start the mentoring program.
Yeah, they get inspired from the school time or from college time, from undergraduate time. So I think that is what we are lacking in our residency programs and all. So we start late. I think we have to catch them young, and that should be something which maybe AIS can also see, the scientific committee and their ARC groups and all. How do we mentor right from beginning? And now with the Zoom available, we should be mentoring people and showing them these passions of research value right from that time. Then it will become a part of their attitude and culture.
Quite true, ma'am.
No, I fully agree, ma'am. Passion, hard work, and a single purpose journey.
So, Dr. Basak, sir, how did you win so many awards at the AIOC, sir?
No. It's just passion. And what Subhadra has said, that attitude is very important. Attitude now, if you take the number of each alphabet, like A for 1, similarly you add those, it is 100. Just do this math. Attitude, convert it into the number of which number of the alphabet series, add it, 100. So attitude is the most important thing. And then automatically there are a lot of people to help you. Then you ask Subhadra that I need this, kindly help me, some kind of knowledge. Then she will, Fairuz can help you. Lot of people, today's now this platform is so wide. Anytime you send a picture across mail, it may not be Zoom connection, and next day you will get answer from your international colleague and national colleague.
Correct. So, Somshila, are you there? Somshila. Mahesh?
It's been an eye-opening for me. It's been an eye-opening how much effort goes into making a poster. I never thought so much about it, but it was great attending this session and it was brilliant.
When these choral designers, when they design the poster for us, with repeated changes, they do get irritated and we feel it is very difficult to submit a poster. Choral designers are very short-tempered people.
So Amit, for that matter, you don't need a designer also.
We need to learn now.
You just need a PPT, in fact, in PPT.
Yeah, that's true.
When you go to files, you can actually choose the size also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't need a designer. You can just sit, and it's more easier, you can just think, the thought will flow.
I think that was the tip given to all the presenters in this particular virtual AIOS.
Correct.
So now our presenters know how to prepare their own poster. They don't have to run to the choral people to prepare the poster. Yeah. Because in this virtual, we told them how to prepare their own poster on PPT.
Yeah.
Mahesh, any last words? Shikha?
What I learned.
Go ahead.
I learned through.
Please go ahead.
Sir, you go ahead, sir.
No. Please go ahead. Ladies first.
Ladies first, ma'am.
What I learned here when I saw all these presentations is, as Fairuz also said, that if you have to reach ET SELVAM award, it is basically any descriptive rare pathology where you have nice documentation, and if you have numbers and you can make it into case series, or you've added some months or years of follow-ups to it, you can present it as a poster and you can win this award. Another thing, Dr. Partha was telling, that the abstract submission has started. Just a request to all the people who are submitting. there is a format. When we evaluate these abstracts, no, which is stated as a matter, there is a format that is being given for abstract submission. Many submissions are people don't know, probably they need to follow the format. It makes a huge impact, in how seriously the evaluator will take the material that you've written if you've just followed the simple format that's been given. That's it, sir. MPS, sir.
Yeah, a lot of great points were brought out, and the take home is you don't need time to do research. You don't need a dedicated time to do research. You don't need to be in an institute to do research. All you need is to have a questioning mind. Just question everything what you see, and ultimately it's going to be ultimately a great paper or a great poster. That's it.
Right. So anybody else, any last words, or let us call it a day? Thank you very much. Let us all quickly have our cameras on, and if we can take a quick photograph of every one of us. Balla, Chirakshi, unless you have gone to bed.
Okay. Congratulations to the AIOS, the whole team, sir, led by Dr. Partha. You all are doing a great job throughout this COVID. Wonderful job done by you. Victory in the photo I'm going to put this week.
Thank you so much.